This is the new sonar one-step camera from Polaroid.
Like this RCA XL100. It's America's favorite.
A Motorola pager lets you stay in touch with the important people in your life.
The 1960s was a dazzling decade of bold creativity and futuristic dreams, where inventors dared to imagine a wilder, more high-tech world. From space-age gadgets to quirky kitchen contraptions, this era was bursting with innovation that promised to change how we lived.
I don't know a tweeter from a woofer from a twoofer. So I bought the Sony compact stereo.
But not every bright idea soared. Some spectacularly missed the mark and quickly vanished into history's dustbin. Curious to uncover these fascinating flops and their stories? Join us as we dive into 25 innovative products from the 1960s that failed miserably. Smell-O-Vision was a groundbreaking attempt in the 1960s to revolutionize cinema by engaging viewers' sense of smell.
Back in the 1950s, as the newfangled technology of television made its way into ever more American homes, this is the story of the brief rise and fall of Smell-O-Vision.
Invented by Hans Laube and featured in the 1960 film Scent of Mystery, the system released specific odors timed with scenes on screen, aiming to deepen immersion. While the concept was innovative, execution fell flat. Scents were poorly timed, often delayed or overpowering, and the ventilation systems couldn't distribute aromas evenly across theaters. Instead of enhancing the movie experience, it caused confusion and discomfort, with some viewers complaining of headaches and nausea. Critics mocked the gimmick, and the system quickly faded after its debut.
Guys, okay. Smell-O-Vision? It's real, and it's awesome.
Technical flaws and negative reception ensured Smell-O-Vision was short-lived, remembered more for its failure than its futuristic ambition. Imagine a theater filled with confusing scents. How ready was the world for the next big leap? Speaking of leaps, what if you could send documents over phone lines? The Xerox long-distance copier, introduced in the late 1960s, was a pioneering but ultimately commercially unsuccessful attempt at transforming document communication.
But long before we cloned sheep, technology was cloning sheets of paper. And this cloning was done with a box that rhymed with rocks.
Known as the Long-Distance Xerography (LDX) system, it was designed to transmit scanned documents over telephone lines, effectively enabling remote photocopying between connected machines. This concept was groundbreaking, leveraging Xerox's advancements in photocopying to allow businesses to send copies of documents much faster than through traditional mail, though transmission was not instantaneous, often taking several minutes per page.
The first copiers, which could make 7 copies per minute, were an invention 20-plus years in the making.
Despite the innovation, the system faced major challenges, including slow transmission speeds, high operational costs, and limited access to the required infrastructure. While it found some use in large enterprises, most businesses and consumers were not prepared for such technology at the time, leading to limited adoption. Nevertheless, the Xerox long-distance copier demonstrated the potential of telecommunications for document sharing and helped pave the way for later developments like fax machines and digital file transmission. The Bell Rocket Belt looked like something straight out of science fiction, a personal jetpack designed to lift a single person into the air using hydrogen peroxide-fueled rockets.
Now this new dimension in mobility may be selected for tactical applications, and through engineering development, the rocket belt will emerge as a practical and useful device.
Developed in the 1960s by Bell Aerosystems for potential military use, it promised rapid transport over short distances, especially for soldiers navigating difficult terrain. However, the reality didn't live up to the dream. The rocket belt could only stay airborne for 21 seconds and fly a mere 120 meters, severely limiting its usefulness. It was also difficult to control, extremely loud, and dangerous to operate. Additionally, the high cost of production and the lack of practical applications led the military and commercial investors to abandon it. Despite its thrilling appearances at expos, it never took off, literally or figuratively. A jetpack that lasted only 21 seconds. What a letdown. If flying wasn't the answer, could motorized surfing be the next thrill? The motorized surfboard emerged in the 1960s as an attempt to fuse thrill with convenience, offering a self-propelled ride over water without the need for waves.
You guys have seen electric skateboards, scooters, electric cars, but have you ever seen an electric surfboard?
Equipped with small internal combustion engines, these boards promised effortless surfing for beginners and access to flat water adventures. However, the concept quickly fell out of favor. Hardcore surfers dismissed it for removing the athleticism and skill central to traditional surfing, while newcomers found the boards bulky, noisy, and difficult to control. The added weight from the motor made both transportation and maneuvering a challenge. Although environmental concerns over fuel emissions became more prominent in later decades, they weren't a major factor at the time. Ultimately, the motorized surfboard failed to enhance the surfing experience, earning little respect within surf culture and sinking as a commercial novelty. If the motorized surfboard had a rough ride, would the Egg Cuber, with its niche appeal, be any more successful? The Egg Cuber was a quirky kitchen gadget from the 1960s designed to reshape hard-boiled eggs into perfect cubes. The process involved peeling a freshly boiled egg, placing it in the device, and compressing it into a square mold as it cooled. While it worked as advertised, the Egg Cuber quickly became a symbol of unnecessary invention.
Stupid kitchen gadgets, because that's what my husband calls them, but I think some of them are pretty cool. This is an egg cuber. You didn't know that hard-boiled eggs could be cubed.
It addressed no real culinary challenge, round eggs were never a problem to begin with, and the end result offered no functional advantage. In fact, cubed eggs often looked unappetizing and unnatural. Consumers found it more of a novelty than a necessity.
I made a square egg. Square.
And the extra effort required to use it wasn't worth the outcome. Without clear purpose or demand, the product flopped and faded into obscurity. The Panasonic TR-005, released in the late 1960s, looked less like a TV and more like something plucked off a UFO. Nicknamed the Orbitel, and often referred to as the Flying Saucer TV or Eyeball TV, its bold spherical design captured the era's obsession with space-age aesthetics.
And how Whole Foods has performed year to date compared to Kroger. Kroger keeps selling more and more organic foods, and that is the story.
Mounted on a chrome tripod and capable of rotating 180 degrees, it stood out in any living room. But beneath the futuristic shell lay a tiny 5-inch screen and limited functionality that couldn't compete with more practical televisions of the day. While the TR-05 eventually gained cult status among collectors, it failed to impress mainstream consumers at the time. More design statement than household staple, the Orbitel faded into obscurity shortly after its debut, another stylish casualty of 1960s innovation run amok. A funky TV design but a tiny screen. Could it really impress? Meanwhile, would people embrace video calls through a phone? The picture phone, developed by AT&T in the 1960s, was a visionary attempt to bring video calling to the masses, allowing people to see and speak to each other over long distances.
Incidentally, I understand you've become somewhat of an expert on the picture phone and have some methods that you'd like to demonstrate. Could you do anything for us, John?
The device was introduced at the 1964 World's Fair, where it garnered significant attention for its futuristic appeal. However, despite its groundbreaking concept, the picture phone failed to gain traction. The technology was expensive to produce and operate, requiring specialized infrastructure that was not widespread, making it unaffordable for the average consumer. Additionally, the video quality was poor by modern standards, and the public was not ready for such an intimate mode of communication. The picture phone was simply too ahead of its time, and by the 1970s, it was phased out. While video calling re-emerged with advancements in the 1980s and 1990s, It wasn't until the rise of platforms like Skype and smartphones that it became a widely accessible part of daily life. Introduced in 1959 by Mead Johnson, Metrical was one of the first meal replacement diet drinks, aiming to help Americans slim down with a low-calorie, nutrient-rich beverage.
This is Metrical, dietary for weight control, to help you lose weight and avoid regaining it.
Marketed heavily in the early 1960s, it quickly became a cultural phenomenon, with dieters consuming multiple cans daily. However, the chalky taste and the monotony of a liquid-only diet led to widespread dissatisfaction. Despite attempts to diversify the product line with flavors and even Metrical cookies, the initial enthusiasm waned. By the mid-1960s, Metrical's popularity had declined significantly, making it a cautionary tale of diet fads gone awry. Liquid meals lost steam, but could hovering just above the ground catch on? In the 1960s, as hovercraft technology gained attention, the concept of personal hovercraft vehicles emerged. Designers envisioned transportation that could glide over surfaces like water, grass, and smooth pavement. These early hover scooters were marketed as futuristic solutions.
At 5,000 revs, it rides on a cushion of air and can travel just like a full-sized hovercraft. No road tax needed.
But many fell short of expectations. The technology was nascent, resulting in unstable vehicles that were hard to control and prone to tipping. Limited hover height and ineffective steering made them impractical for daily use, and the ride was often rough. Consequently, personal hovercraft remained more of a concept than a reality, fading into obscurity until later advancements in the 1980s and beyond. While the concept of a pager integrated into a wristwatch is commonly associated with modern wearable technology, there is no verified record of Motorola releasing a pager watch in 1969. The confusion may stem from Motorola's introduction of the Pageboy in 1964, one of the first successful personal pagers. Though not worn on the wrist, the Pageboy represented a major step forward in mobile communication, allowing users to receive tone or voice alerts.
Paging Dr. X. He listens to the message and, if necessary, can answer the board.
The idea of combining paging functionality with a wristwatch did not materialize in the consumer market until much later, as the necessary miniaturization and wireless infrastructure were not yet mature. Early concepts of wearable communication faced challenges such as limited network coverage, bulkiness, and high costs. Nonetheless, these early paging technologies laid important groundwork for the development of modern smartwatches and wearable communication devices. Wrist pagers were a dream. What about a car with switchable engines? The Ford Seattle IT Weitpui 1, unveiled in 1962 at the Seattle World's Fair, was a futuristic car concept designed to revolutionize transportation with its innovative features, most notably its interchangeable power units. Ford imagined a car where drivers could swap out the engine depending on their needs, such as switching to an electric unit for city driving or a more powerful one for longer trips. The car's design was sleek, with bubble-like windows and a high-tech modular aesthetic. However, the concept never materialized beyond sketches and models. The technology needed to make the interchangeable power units feasible was far too advanced for the time, and the costs of production and infrastructure were prohibitively high. The car's complexity and lack of practical application led to its abandonment, and it remained a bold vision that never reached reality. Launched in 1960, the Chevrolet Corvair was GM's answer to the growing demand for compact cars. Its rear-engine design and sleek styling set it apart from competitors. However, the Corvair's handling issues, particularly its tendency to oversteer, raised safety concerns.
If you're like most people who are interested in the Corvair, you want to know what it can do in action, out on the road. You want proof that the Corvair can deliver the goods.
The situation escalated when consumer advocate Ralph Nader highlighted these issues in his 1965 book, unsafe at any speed. Although GM made improvements in later models, the damage to the Corvair's reputation was irreversible. Production ceased in 1969, and the Corvair remains a symbol of automotive innovation overshadowed by safety controversies. Introduced in the 1960s, the 8-track tape player promised to revolutionize the way people listen to music on the go. The 8-track was a magnetic tape cartridge system, allowing users to enjoy continuous music playback without needing to flip or rewind tapes.
And I got a 8-track that has some really good music in there, so let's see what we got here.
On a night
It was an immediate hit with car manufacturers, who integrated 8-track players into vehicles, making it the first real portable music system for many. However, the 8-track quickly encountered problems. The tapes were prone to jamming, poor sound quality, and limited track selection, with each tape only holding around 40 minutes of audio. Furthermore, the bulky, cumbersome players lacked portability compared to the rising compact cassette format, and the sound quality was often inferior. By the 1970s, the 8-track was on its way out, replaced by more practical alternatives. Though it had a brief moment of popularity, the 8-track's technical flaws and its ultimate inability to adapt to consumer demands made it a relic of the past. Music tapes jammed, but could a jet-powered car race ahead? The Chrysler turbine car, introduced in 1963, was a revolutionary concept featuring a jet engine instead of a conventional internal combustion engine.
Chrysler had, in effect, found a way of harnessing the great exhaust energy of a jet-like engine by utilizing the turbine effect, much like that of wind on a windmill.
Powered by a turbine, the car promised high performance, smooth acceleration, and the ability to run on various fuels, including kerosene. Chrysler produced 50 prototype vehicles, showcasing sleek designs and futuristic features. However, despite its innovation, the turbine car faced numerous challenges. The jet engine was costly to manufacture and maintain, and it produced high levels of noise and exhaust emissions, making it impractical for everyday use. Additionally, the car's fuel efficiency was far lower than expected, and the market was not ready for such an expensive, unconventional vehicle. Ultimately, Chrysler abandoned the project due to production costs and limited demand, and the turbine car remained a fascinating but short-lived experiment in automotive history. The Clairtone Project G Stereo, introduced in 1964, was an avant-garde stereo system designed by Canadian company Clairtone. Combining innovative design with high-quality sound, it featured an eye-catching, futuristic look, with speakers resembling a pair of sculptural, curvaceous towers. The stereo system was considered a luxury item, aimed at the high-end market and promoted as an art piece as much as a functional audio device. Despite its striking appearance and technical excellence, the Clairtone Project G Stereo faced significant challenges. The high cost, limited market appeal, and an overambitious approach, focusing more on design than user experience, meant it was not able to maintain broad consumer interest. Additionally, the company's venture into television manufacturing was financially disastrous, leading to the eventual bankruptcy of Clairtone in the late 1960s. The Project G Stereo is remembered as a bold attempt to merge audio technology with modern design, but it ultimately failed due to its niche market and the company's unstable financial footing. The Amana Rada range, introduced in the late 1960s, was one of the first microwave ovens available for home use, bringing a slice of futuristic technology into kitchens.
The 675-watt Amana radar range microwave oven has quality features: 2 timers, stainless steel interior, glass oven tray that catches spills and juices.
This bulky countertop unit promised to revolutionize cooking, offering the convenience of heating food in minutes. While it was a groundbreaking product in terms of speed and convenience, its early adoption was slower than expected. The rider range's size and price tag were significant deterrents. Early models weighed over 40 pounds and cost several $100s, making them unaffordable for many households. Additionally, the technology was new and somewhat intimidating, with users unsure how to properly operate the device, leading to a hesitancy in adoption. Over time, however, microwave ovens became more compact, affordable, and user-friendly, and Amana's radar range eventually paved the way for the widespread microwave boom of the 1970s and beyond. Though it wasn't an immediate success, the radar range is now recognized as a pioneer in kitchen appliance technology. Big and pricey microwaves warmed slowly. Could a new video format heat up home entertainment? In 1966, RCA introduced the SelectaVision video disc, a bold attempt to revolutionize home entertainment. Unlike VCRs, which used magnetic tape, the video disc relied on a capacitance-based system for superior picture quality and instant access to movies. However, the technology faced critical issues. The discs were prone to wear and degradation, the players were expensive, and the format failed to gain widespread adoption.
The market wasn't interested, it had already moved on to other things. RCA pretty much bet the farm on video disc and lost the lot.
Despite initial interest, RCA discontinued the video disc by the early 1980s, cementing it as a significant failure in the home video market. The Imperial Model 70, introduced in the 1960s, was a novel attempt to bring voice technology to the workplace. This typewriter had the ability to speak the words being typed, designed to assist those with visual impairments or provide a more interactive typing experience. While the idea was innovative, the execution fell short. The machine was bulky, heavy, and noisy, making it impractical for office use. Its voice technology, though groundbreaking for the time, was rudimentary and often unclear, frustrating users rather than enhancing the typing experience. Additionally, the machine's high cost and limited functionality compared to more efficient, traditional typewriters led to its quick decline. The Imperial Model 70 ultimately proved more of a technological curiosity than a viable office tool, fading into obsolescence. The RCA radio telephone, introduced in the 1960s, was an early attempt at creating a mobile phone. It was designed to allow people to make phone calls on the go, offering unprecedented mobility for communication.
Breaker, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Tango, Cash.
However, the radio telephone was hindered by its sheer size. It was large and bulky, resembling a suitcase more than a portable device. Additionally, the cost of both the phone and its usage was prohibitively high, making it accessible only to the wealthiest individuals or businesses. The technology was also unreliable, with poor reception and short battery life. Due to these practical limitations and high prices, the RCA radio telephone never gained widespread adoption, fading into obscurity before the development of more refined mobile phones in later decades. Introduced in 1969, the Kodak carousel projector was designed to transform slide viewing with its motorized carousel for automatic slide changes. However, the projector suffered from frequent jams.
This is a Kodak 4600 carousel slide projector. This is a demo to show you.
Often leaving slides stuck or misaligned. Its autofocus feature was unreliable, and the device's bulk made it cumbersome for home use. Limited settings adjustments and poor performance in varying lighting conditions led to dissatisfaction among consumers. Despite initial promise, the carousel's design flaws made it a short-lived product in the home entertainment market. Slide jams plagued projectors. Could a giant red truck drive interest? The Ford Big Red, introduced in the 1960s, was a striking truck concept designed to showcase Ford's engineering prowess and push the boundaries of commercial vehicle design. With its massive size, bold red color, and oversized tires, it commanded attention and made a lasting impression.
Big Red is an experimental gas turbine-powered super truck for the 1970s. It was conceived and computer designed by Ford Motor Company engineers.
The Big Red was equipped with a powerful engine and designed to demonstrate Ford's ability to create a truly unique vehicle. However, despite its dramatic design, the truck was impractical for real-world use. Its enormous size made it cumbersome to maneuver, and its specialized design offered little functionality for everyday commercial needs. The truck's high costs also made it unfeasible for most businesses. Although it garnered significant attention at auto shows, the Ford Big Red never progressed beyond the concept stage and ultimately did not transition into a production vehicle. Released in 1965, the Polaroid Swinger brought instant photography to the masses with its affordable, user-friendly design.
Early to mid-1960s, this was one of the first affordable cameras. It only shot black and white film, and it was $19.99.
Marketed with the catchy slogan, "It's the Swinger and you're the one," it became a cultural phenomenon, especially among young people. The camera's compact size and simplicity made it an instant favorite for casual users, offering the thrill of instant photo prints for just $19.95. Though successful during its short run, the Swinger's limitations, such as basic functionality and lower image quality, eventually led to its replacement by more advanced models in the 1970s. Nonetheless, it remains a symbol of the instant photography boom of the 1960s, carving out a niche in the history of consumer cameras. Instant photos were a hit, but could a sporty station wagon ever work? Would families embrace a muscle car with extra space? The Ford Mustang station wagon, a concept introduced in the 1960s, aimed to combine the sporty appeal of the Mustang with the practicality of a station wagon. The goal was to create a family-friendly version of the iconic muscle car, offering more space while maintaining the Mustang's performance.
This car was finished in 1991, started life as a 1966 coupe, a C-Code, which is a 289 two-barrel car, and was converted to, as you see it here, which Mustang station wagon.
However, the concept never reached production. The sporty image of the Mustang was seen as incompatible with the utilitarian nature of a station wagon, and the two ideas didn't align well within Ford's vision for the brand. Additionally, the market was already saturated with traditional station wagons, and there was limited consumer demand for a more expensive, performance-oriented version. Despite its innovative premise, the Ford Mustang station wagon was ultimately abandoned, failing to generate significant interest from both consumers and the company. The Sony TV-8301, introduced in 1960, was the world's first direct-view portable transistor television. With a 5-inch screen and a weight of just 13 pounds, it aimed to make TV viewing mobile, powered by both AC and rechargeable batteries. Despite its groundbreaking design, the TV-8301 struggled with poor picture quality, a small screen, and frequent malfunctions. Its high price also limited its appeal, leading to its discontinuation by 1962. While it wasn't a commercial success, the TV-8301 paved the way for future innovations in portable television. Portable TVs were groundbreaking, but what about hitting the road? Could a smaller travel trailer still offer comfort? In 1969, Airstream aimed to capture the growing RV market with the introduction of the Caravelle, a smaller, lighter version of their iconic aluminum travel trailer. The Caravelle was designed to be more affordable and maneuverable, offering a sleek, compact alternative to larger Airstream models. While it appealed to those seeking the Airstream style at a lower price point, it faced a key drawback: its limited interior space. The smaller size provided less comfort and fewer amenities compared to other RVs.
The Caravelle has ducted AC, so it's going to spread the AC, the coolant throughout the coach, a little bit better than the Bambi. The Bambi has the ceiling AC that just kind of dumps it out,
which turned off many potential buyers. Despite its stylish exterior and solid construction, the Caravelle failed to capture the larger RV market, leading to its discontinuation just a few years after launch.